Good morning. This is Jackie from the Stitchin Post, and today's tutorial is going to be about how to do some coverings for gifts that you're doing and how to use boxes, old boxes that you might find laying around that you want to cover and reuse. Originally, I was going to work with Christmas fabric, but I realized that you can use these all year long, so we're going to cover them with all different kinds of fabrics. So Christmas is just one of them. And the products that I'm using today is Heat and Bond, a wool pressing pad, Kai scissors, and a mighty steam iron. That is what I'm using, and a ruler. Pretty much any ruler will work. So I'm just going to move these aside and get going here. Okay, so these boxes, they were for photos to go in, and I rescued them from recycling. I want to recycle them, so this is a box that I'm going to cover. All of these are the same size, so it was actually pretty easy to do, and once I measured one, I was able to use the same measurements for all of them. So today we're going to use Enchanted Fabric, which is a new line from Valori Wells, and it's coming out in May, and the fabric behind me is some of the pieces. But there's many more. Hang on. Here's a pile of all of the gorgeous fabric. And you can find this on our website. You can see the pictures of them. Again, it won't be available until May, but you'll get something to look forward to. Okay, so I need to start out by measuring our box. All right. To do that, it helps to have a measuring tape that is flat. So you want to measure, we're going to measure the outside of our box, the circumference of our box. Start at any corner, but that's 120 inches. Let's go to the other end here. Okay, and you just hold it on there. You could actually measure two sides and just go with that, or you can measure all the way around. All right, meet up here. So this box measures 38 inches, and then I add 2 inches to that, 2.5 inches. So I'm going to make mine 40 inches, which is actually great for a piece of fabric, because from salvage to salvage, it's 42 inches or so. So I just cut a piece the length of the fabric. Now, but how wide do we cut it? Okay, now we're going to we're going to measure the side of the box, the height of it. So you can see that this one is 4.5 inches approximately. And then I again add 2 inches. So I'm going to cut this 6.5 inches, okay? So, and if you want to, you can actually take a Sharpie, it works great. You can actually write the measurements on your box. So we're going to do 40, I'm just going to do 42 inches by 6.5. That's for my sides. I also want the measurements on the bottom of my box. So we're going to measure that. I actually have them already written on there. So we're measuring across here, it's 7.5 inches, and this way is 11 inches. So I'm just writing on here 7.5 inches by 11 inches. Now, because this is the bottom of the box, I'm actually going to take a 1/2 inch off that measurement. So I'm actually going to cut it 7 inches by 10.5 inches. And you can actually write that cut size. Okay? So it's on there. Then you don't have to worry about it. Your measurements are all there, written on there, ready to go. 6.5 by 42. Okay, so we got them written there. Now, the lid. The lid's a little trickier. Same thing, we're going to measure from the bottom of the side across the top to this side. It's like 14.25 inches. I'm going to add 2 inches to that also. So we're going to have 16.25 inches. Can write that right on top. 1/4 inches. And you can actually make this 16.5, whatever works for you. Don't make it smaller though, okay? You don't want to get it too small. And then we're going to measure the other direction, okay? Again, I should probably measure it like this so you can read it. So we have 11 inches. So we're going to add 2 inches to that, which makes it 13. So we have 16.25 by 13 inches. That's the size that we want to cut. Okay. Get rid of this. And now we're going to get out our Heat and Bond. I actually have some pieces already cut, but I'm going to show you how I cut those so that you will be able to do that. So the heat bond that I'm using came on a roll, and so here's my roll, and I'm actually going to move these aside, move this aside, roll this out until I have 42 inches of it. So if you're buying heat and bond, oh, and the reason I like heat and bond, if Val comes in here a little closer, you can see the backside of this is a rubbery texture. It's not like a fusible web. The web you can see through, it's kind of like a spider web. This isn't. This is solid, and it's a rubber texture. I really like to use this when I'm working with paper. If I'm doing fabric to paper, it's fabulous. I really like it. So heat and bond light you can sew through, but in this case, we don't need to sew through anything. No sewing machine. So I would roll this out and I would cut off a 42-inch strip. Well, I've already done that. So here's my 42-inch strip. See, long like this. And you can actually get 2 of the boxes that I'm working with off this strip. Then I would cut my 6.5 inches. So this is 42 inches here, and then I'm going to cut it across 6.5 inches. So you have this leftover piece. That could be used possibly for, and I did that too, this is for my bottom of my box that I was going to cut 7 inches by 10.5 inches. Here we go. I actually wrote it on here. You could measure it and get it right out of this little piece here, but you still have a lot left over. Save all your little pieces. You never know when you're doing cards or another project where you can use these leftover pieces. So I can get from this, I can get my big long strip, and I can get the bottom of the box. And then I would just have to go to another piece of heat and bond to actually get the top of the box. And here's the top of my box that I pre-cut. See, and you can get almost the whole width here. So there's not a lot of waste. So then I get my 3 pieces. Put my heat and bond away. I keep these away from the iron because it's sticky. It'll stick on your iron. So now we go to the fabric. And you have to decide what you want to be the bottom of your box and the top of your box. I decided that this would be really cute for the bottom of my box here. And this would be really nice for the top of the box. I just think the combination is gorgeous. So, since I was smart enough to write all my measurements on here and on my box, I know what size I need to cut these. So with my 6.5-inch strip, I could actually cut, and I would cut this a little bit bigger, maybe 7 inches, so you have a little bit of extra fabric on either side here. Oh, I'm going to show you right now. So that's from selvage to selvage, right there, okay? I'm actually going to start pressing. So using my wool pressing mat, I'm going to pull it over here, lay my fabric out, lay my strip on top. This is the correct size. See how I have extra fabric on either side? You can, you can go a little closer to one edge and keep that extra fabric if you want. Up to you. I keep those strips and I actually use them for log jam quilts or something that I'm doing. So I try not to waste too much. This little iron works great. Move it down there. And I'm also trying to kind of make sure that my fabric is lined up a little bit here. So if I have directional, if you have directional fabric, this is very important. When you're putting it on the box, oh, here I have one right here I can show you. So this one here has the little sewing machines. You want to make sure that they're going the correct direction when you go to put them on the box. Very, very important. I have a little comic one here. They're all going the correct direction. Some of them doesn't matter. I have a Aboriginal fabric here, looks really great. It was 2 different directions. These kangaroos are the right direction. These ones are upside down. I didn't have a choice. I probably should have flipped it over so this kangaroo, who shows up a lot, actually was going the correct direction. But that's okay. These guys are correct. Well, that one is. Anyway, just pay attention to the direction of your fabric. Okay, press. Okay, then we're at the press. Okay, that's the side of the box. All right, Put that off to the side. And I also want the same fabric for the bottom of my box. See how I use the same on the bottom of the box? So I want the same one. You actually have to get a little more extra fabric. So fat quarters work great for that. I happen to have a 1/2 yard here, so I'm just going to start on one little edge and put this here. There, I'll turn around so you can see my writing on there. Bottom of box. And I actually made it a little bit bigger than 7 by 10.5. And to remind myself that I need to trim it down, I actually wrote it on there. Trim to 7 inches by 10.5. Okay. Then I would cut this out. And I'm going to use the rotary cutter to actually trim this down. Not right now, though. I'm going to keep moving here. Okay, so that's the bottom of my box, the side of my box, and now the top of my box, again, is going to be out of the blue here. And fat quarters work great for this. This is a 1/2 yard. The fat quarters, wonderful. Lay it on there like so, and press it down. I didn't write on this one. I'm going to actually show you, I'm going to cover a box with the beeswax, so I have that all prepared. The beeswax, the bee fabric. Okay, and you want to make sure that you actually press this down pretty good. So when you tear the paper off, it's not going to stick to the paper. Okay, so we'll put that off to the side. Oh, and look it. Here's the bee already. There's the bottom of my box. I've already got it trimmed down to the size I need it. Here's the side of my box. Okay, and here's the top of my box. We're going to cover the bottom of the box first because it's the simplest to do. So, take the paper off the back. And the nice thing about the heat and bond, because it's got that rubbery texture, when it comes off, you can add, and you can see how shiny it is. That, well, so much for making it look pretty coming off, but oh well. As long as it's off. Okay. All right, this is directional. Keep that in the back of your mind. It's your box. I want to make sure.
Don't you want to do the bottom first? Didn't you say?
No, I'm going to do, okay, this is a good question Valerie asked. Aren't you going to put the bottom on first? Okay, I did put the bottom on first on this box. And see how the edge overlaps here? I didn't like that. So what I decided to go back and do, I think I have one that might have a different, okay, here, perfect. This one has green on the bottom because I didn't have any more of the sewing machine. But this, by putting it on top, actually seals all these little raw edges. So I put this on the top, okay? Good question, excellent question. So that is why I do the bottoms a little differently. Hey, I had to, it was a fail, pass, fail for me doing this. Okay, now you can measure this if you want. I'll bring it up here so you can see it. I just lay it on there, wrap my, oh, and I want it to overlap on the end of the box. Okay, wrap it around. All right, kind of when you're wrapping it around, try and make those edges line up. These raw edges, these raw edges. It just makes the box neat and tidy. Okay, then nice iron, little iron, just start pressing it down. Okay. And you're going to go around the whole side of the box. This could actually take a while. Oh, and I sometimes put my hand under here to help hold the box up because it wants to bend over. Okay. You guys are going to love this. Everybody you know is going to end up with a box for Christmas. One of the employees asked if I was selling them. It's like, no, they're all for my friends. Which box do you like? So, oop. Okay. All right, it probably needs to be pressed on there a little better than this, but I can always go back and do that later. But for this, for what I'm showing you, well, I'm not going to worry about it. All right, I'm not going to worry about squishing it. Now, here's where, oh, what I did with my scissors. Here we go. My Kai scissors come in handy. They're sharp, sharp. So here on the corner, I want to slice down to the edge of the box on all 4 corners. Okay. You don't have to measure it, just need to slice it. Okay. So now I am going to press in. I'm going to fold it over like this, and I'm going to press these. Press these down, press them really good in the corner. A little iron helps you get into those nooks and crannies there. Can you see that? Okay, normally you would do this facing yourself. It's much easier. Okay. Now, I recommend doing the 2 ends, or the 2 sides, it doesn't matter, but do both of them, the opposite edges. Okay. And then do the next 2 sides. Now, this is the bottom of the box. The lid's going to be a little tougher. I don't know what it's all about. Is to make it a little easier. And the bottom of the box is pretty simple too. It's basically the exact same way we did this one. You're going to cut the corners again. Okay, we can come back and do that later if we need to. Okay, same thing. We're going to cut our little corners here. And then when you go to press this, you're going to press, I do the end ones first, and then the side ones, the short ends, and then the long sides. That's just my routine. You can do however you like, but okay. Make sure you keep this out of the way, otherwise it'll stick to your iron. Just push it off to the side when you're working it. Next side. Okay, we're getting there, we're getting there. Might have to do a little trimming here at the edge, at the end here, but that's fine. We can do that. Again, the scissors are nice and sharp, so we can do that. Go, go, go. Okay, so now, see I have some little pieces hanging off here. I'm just going to go along and trim those. And my scissors will do it on all sides. Just cut those down. Get rid of them. All right. Now that bottom piece that we cut, whoops. Yeah, I didn't burn myself, that's good. Okay, the bottom piece, right? What did I do with my bottom piece? Uh-oh. Oh, thank you, Valerie. All right, we're going to pull the paper off of this. You can always tear it a little bit in the corner if you can't get it to come off. And again, heat and bond, it almost always comes off like it's supposed to. Okay, lay it on there. Oh, I could probably trim this down a little bit more. I'm going to. I'm going to take, hey, I don't think I have a rotary cutter here. Okay, we're just going to go with this then, because I don't. All right. And press it down. Okay, I thought I had it trimmed down and I didn't. Bad me. Okay, again, when you're doing this, you might have to stick your fingers, your hand underneath here to push the box bottom up to get that iron on there really good. Okay. Okay, now, wow, the bottom's done, and it does need a little bit more pressing. It's the correct direction. Okay, now, the lid. Here's the fun part. We're going to move this out of here because I don't need it now. And so here's my top. You need to find the center of this, okay? Fold it in half. All right, put a little crease there. Fold it in half again. Okay. Open it back up. And you can mark right where your middles are, okay? Oh, I marked them already on these sides, okay? All right, now, okay, next, the lid. I want to take my lid. Oh, and I probably, did I mark this lid? I didn't. So we're going to mark this lid. Okay. I'm going to measure it. Oh, here, I have this right here. This will work. Okay, measure, measure, measure. So this is 13¼ inches. Oh, thank you, but this will work. 13¼ This is 13¼ inches. So the half of that would be 7½ plus 1/8. So 7 5/8. So just measure over 7 5/8.
No, that's not the middle.
Oh, that's not the, okay. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 6 5/8. Okay. Because it's 13¼ yeah, 6 5/8. Thank you, Valerie. It's a good thing she's keeping me straight here. Kind of a weird ruler because it's looking like 23, 22, but there's also a 1 there. So 6 5/8 right here. It looks a lot better. It does look a lot better, but it doesn't look like center.
It doesn't look center.
1, 11¼
Yeah, it's a
Oh, you know what? I'm looking at the 13. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm looking at the 13. Okay. So, okay, we're going to go with this because Jackie is having an issue there. Okay, so
5 5/8.
it's 5 5/8. Yeah, so there it looks a lot better. See those big numbers? Okay, so 5 5/8. So we're is it 5 5/8? Yeah, 5½ 5 5/8. Yeah, 5 5/8 right here. How's that look? Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to double check here. Go over here. Oh, there we go. Close enough. It's close enough, and it's close. There's 5 5/8 there. 5 5/8 over here. Oh my God. Okay, now same thing. Let's see if we can do this correct. Valerie is cracking up right now, and she's having a hard time holding it in, but that's okay. Because I make mistakes all the time, as you can see. Okay, this one's much easier to read. So it's 7 3/4. So that would be 3½ 3 3/4, 3 7/8. Okay, 3 7/8. Now I'm double casting myself here. Let's find out. Yeah, pretty close. Yeah, pretty close. Okay. So I have my middles on both the top and the bottom. The other box is actually marked. Okay. Oh. And run them down the side so I can actually see them. It doesn't have to be perfect, as I just showed you. Okay. So now I want to line up this line here with this line, okay? And it's creased. Got that? Okay. And then the other one is over here. So I have to pull back a little bit. So that one's lined up here. Val, can you walk around over here and see that? See my line here and my little line, my little notch there? Mm-hmm. That's lined up. This is lined up, which means the lid is on here square. So.
Have you taken the paper off?
No, I don't want to take the paper off yet. Val asked about taking the paper off. I don't want to yet. I want to do all of my cutting while the paper's on the back because I can draw on the paper and not on the fabric. All right, that is the middle of my fabric. Took a long time to get there, but we got there. Okay, so now the measurement on the side of the box top here is 1½ inches, okay? So I am going to actually measure this. It's a lot easier than it looks. Let me do it this way. 1½ inches. And I'm going to draw a line all the way down the whole side. And I'm going to do that around the whole entire thing. Because we want to be able to turn this under when we get to the lid, because the lid, 1½ inches. This is the toughest part of the box, is the lid. I can already see your friends are all going to get lidless boxes. But this is, well, hey. Okay, so voila, that is going to be where it's turned under so that we know where it is. Now, I actually, once you do this for the first time, you may want to save one of yours that you pull off the top, because when you cover a box, if you look at this box, the little edges here are all nice. You can't see the box through it. And I thought, well, how do they do that? How do they do that so you don't have, when we did the bottom of the box, I just cut the little edge here, and it just went in. You can do the same thing with the top, but I want it to have that nice finish here where that wraps around it. Okay, so this is how we're going to do it. And this is what we're going to do. I measured this, and I thought a 1/2 inch was actually the best way to do this. So, oh, I probably should have put these lines here. Excuse me. These are the lines I should have drawn, but it's okay. We'll be fine. I am going to leave, okay. These are the sides. So I want my little 1/2 inch right here. Okay. This is going to come into right there. That's where I should draw these lines. Okay. Boom. Okay. And you're going to have to go along and, yeah, what is it? Okay. And you're going to have to make, and I would make this mark on every one of these, the 1/2 inch right here. I think it's very, very important to have on all of them. And don't guess that it's a 1/2 inch. Measure it and make sure it's a 1/2 inch. Okay, we're going to cut out part of this, just like this one here. We're going to cut this piece out here. It doesn't make sense right now, but wrap around. I did one of these boxes where I cut the little flap off. That was stupid. Okay, and then cut.
So you cut all of, you want this to.
Yep, that I want that corner square. It's not really a square. The corner rectangle out of there. Yep. So this is going to wrap around the box like this. Okay. That is why we want the little flap there, and we want to cut all of it. Make sure you're cutting them in the right spot. Okay. Because like I said, I cut the flap off one time. It didn't hurt. I mean, it was no big deal. But then I'll fold this up so you can see what I'm talking about on that one too. And it's the ends, okay? The ends. You want the ends here and here. Cut, cut, cut. Cut this away. And that'll fold up like that. You don't have to fold it up, but that might, I don't know if it'll make it easier for you or not. Okay. And what I did is I cut here and cut my flap off so you can, oh, okay. All right, now this is ready to go on. Now you take it off. And this one you might, if you plan on doing more boxes of the same size, is something you might want to hang on to. I don't know. Let's see if I can get it off in one piece. You got to work at it to get it off in one piece because of the little flaps. Whoop. Voila. Yay! Okay, get rid of that. All right, but you got everything you need here. Now, we're going to turn it over, lay it on top, line up your corners right here, like so, and the other side. Okay, might not be perfect. Okay, now I'm going to press on the, I want it to stick. I don't care where it's sticking, I just want it to be stuck on the box top. I can come back and, oh, look at, you can actually see through this fabric, you can see underneath. Can't really tell what it is. So when you're doing this, you might consider that too when you're putting a lid on. All right, here we go. I'm going to flip it over, and we're going to put the sides down first, where that little flap is. Okay. We're going to press this. Okay. All right, I'm going to do the other side too before I do any cutting. I haven't pushed this underneath yet. All right. But you'll like, your top will come out really nice. You'll be very happy with your tops. Okay, now move that out of the way. Flip that over like so, see? And press it. You'll have this little piece hanging on top. That's fine. Don't worry about it. We're going to get rid of it in a minute. Same on this side. See? Press, press, press. Try not to hit this here. It'll stick to your iron. Okay. Do that on all. Okay, now I'm going to have to clip a little bit more. I didn't quite clip enough here. That's fine. Just go down to the box top. Flip it over. Press it. Got it. Same thing on this side. All right, we're almost done. Okay, now we are, you know how we clip the bottom? We're going to do the same thing here. We don't want to, don't cut this away, leave it there. Okay. Clip down the box, clip down the box. Okay, now if you want, you can press that down inside at this point, or you can wait until this piece comes over the top. So I'm going to do it now, just so it's done. Oh, I probably should have had this too. I don't want to burn my mat. Okay. Ugh, you know what? I'm not. I'm going to wait. Okay, here. We'll do these sides first. No, I'm going to put that in there. You just got to tuck it in there somehow. There we go. That's tucked in there now. Got it? Tucked in there? All right. I'll move this around so that you can see. Press it. Press along the whole entire edge here. Pulling your fabric in. And you can come back and fill these, and you can come back and push all this back in there when you go press it again. It'll be fine. This is probably very difficult for Val to videotape because it's kind of, okay. Same thing with the other side. Press, press. And you'll probably be nice and take a little more time than I'm doing, do a little better job. Who should I give this box to? Somebody I maybe don't like. No, that would be on Val's doorstep. No. Okay. All right, almost done here. Okay. Okay, now we're going to tuck these ends in. And when you come across the top here, you see how it's covered that up so that box isn't showing right here. So that's what those little tabs are for. As dorky and as hard as they are to do, it is so totally worth it. Okay. All right. And you need to get the little nose of the iron right in these corners. Okay. Oh, I probably could have done a better job on that. Okay. Last one. And all these little things that are sticking out here, when you put this down, it's going to cover all that up. Okay. Tuck it into the corner there. Oh my gosh, this box is just about done. So close. It does need to be pressed a little bit more. Sorry about that, but okay. So this is something you can do with your kids, and it's such a great little gift. It's awesome. So here is the lid. Here is the bottom of the box. Here is the box. Ta-da! Okay, voila. So now I am going to trim the edge off here. That's why I didn't press it so much here, because it's overlapping a little bit. So I'm going to go along and trim that off. Okay, and then the rest of the bottom of the box is great. I'm happy with that. Yep. So we'll get rid of that, and then this box is completely finished and ready to go. Don't know what you're going to put in there, but it'll be cool. Why don't you give friends some bees, and they'll be happy. Okay, so that is how you cover boxes. Now, you might not be so lucky to have these kind of boxes. So here at the store, we actually have some boxes that some of our product came in, but you could cover all of these. All of these could be covered. I mean, the boxes are great without being covered, but all different kinds of sizes. Shoe boxes work really well, but they just need to be sturdy enough to handle all the pressing. And like this one, I've actually already marked everything on it, 16 by 16 inches, 34 by 7 inches. The bottom, I didn't do the bottom yet, but so I got these all marked up. So when you measure them, if you have the same size box, these are the same. Oh, they're not the same. They're not the same, so I'd have to remeasure. But some of these that are the same size, if you're doing, I would work them all at the same time, so you don't have to keep measuring everything. But so this is it. I can't think of anything else. So it'll be on our YouTube channel, and you too can cover boxes for Christmas or any time of the year. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.